Hi everyone, welcome back to Law School Gems with Bria. My name is Bria Riley and I am the founder of Law School Gems. Today we are going to be talking about, drumroll please, networking. I know your all-time favorite topic, but we got to get right into it. A little bit about me. I am an in-house attorney practicing here in Dallas, Texas for a publicly traded company and their marketing, advertising, and IP legal group. Before we dive into networking today, because I know that you are bleeding with anticipation to talk about it, I just wanted to affirm you. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are already taking the necessary steps to put you that much more ahead of your competition and to get these gems. So I am here for you. I'm rocking with you. I got your back. Thank you for being here with me. And without further ado, let's dive right on in.
We are born to win. Come and learn the basics with Law School Gems.
So networking, it is a vital part of your law school career. It is also a vital part of putting you ahead of your competition with respect to your civic organizations or volunteer organizations you might be a part of. It also helps you build rapport with the people within the legal community. And what better time to start than the present? And I know that for some of you, networking may feel foreign. It may feel scary, especially if you are an introvert, but I promise you it's not as scary as you believe. And even if you've never done it before, even if you never took part in it in college, there's always room to start and to learn as you go. And you can't get better at it unless you actually put yourself in a position where you're actually networking with people, right? And before we go any deeper or go any further, I just want to say at this phase of your law school career, I know that most of you are probably first semester law students. Your primary focus, your primary goal, the emphasis of where you're at right now should be your law school grades, studying, preparing for your classes, and preparing for your midterm and final exams. I am in no way telling you to neglect those things to focus on networking because that's more important. Not at this point. Right now, you need to master what is already considered overwhelming, which is just learning how to be a good law student and how to be successful and get the grades that you want. And then as you advance throughout your law school career, you'll want to start networking more, but it never hurts to just put it on your radar and start thinking about it now. So networking never ends, right? It starts in law school, and for some of you, it may have started in college, and then it will continue after you graduate and once you become a lawyer. I just attended a networking, a save the date reception for the Texas Minority Council program last week, and again, it just doesn't stop. And it helps you thrive in your career, both as an attorney and as a law student. So for most of you as first semester law students, like I said, your primary focus is your grades and studying right now, but maybe you go to one networking event starting in the month of October and maybe one more in November and you leave it at that. For those of you in your first semester, I don't recommend more than one networking event per month because again, that's not what you should be focused on right now. You'll have plenty of time in law school to attend so many networking events and you can focus on those then. But right now, remember your grades are most important and I want you to study and really crack down on those first and master that. And then you can start infusing more networking events because I know you're already getting the invites. I know you're on a lot of email listservs and blasts out there and they're just compounding you with all of this great information, all of these great networking events. It doesn't hurt to start thinking about some you may want to start taking part in. And I challenge you to attend 1 to 3 of those a month once you feel like you're at a place where you've mastered studying, you've mastered your grades, you're doing well as a law student, and now you can really start interacting with people in the legal community a lot more. So then at that point, try to attend 1 to 3 networking events per month. And then when you're there, challenge yourself, especially to all my introverts. Come here, lean in. Challenge yourself to make 1 to 3 meaningful connections while you're at that networking event. Now, what does that mean? Bria, what is a meaningful connection? It means someone that you exchange a business card with, someone who you connect with, someone who you find mutual interests with. Maybe you guys went to a past college together. Maybe you guys know people. Maybe your families know each other, right? But find a meaningful connection, someone that you're going to want to follow up with after the networking event and someone you're going to want to keep in touch with. This person might also agree to meet with you in the future, and they could serve as a mentor, they could serve as a sponsor, and we'll get more into the differences between mentorship and sponsorship later on another episode of Law School Gems. But this person is just going to be someone that, like I said, you want to follow up with afterward. It could be a very meaningful connection. This person may or may not be able to get you a job, but let's also talk about that. The purpose of networking is not always, what can I get out of this? Sometimes it's about what you can bring to the table. You have valuable assets and contributions that you can make to the legal community, even as a law student. And those contributions start now. The power and the benefits of networking really shine through when it's a reciprocal relationship. So when both parties, even the lawyers that you're meeting at the networking events who you think there's no way that I could add value to their lives or help them with anything or say something or connect them with someone that they don't already know, it's just not true. So once you realize you can start reciprocating and returning that energy just in the same vein that you're expecting for them to pour into you, it'll be way more beneficial of a relationship, and it'll actually take the edge off, because then every time you're reaching out to that person after the networking event, it won't just be because you want something or you need something. You'll want to check up on that person, especially if it's a meaningful connection that you're trying to harvest and to return to. You just want to check in. Hey, how's your day going? Or hey, let me tell you about this cool thing that I did, or I made law review, or whatever the case may be. And you just keep up with that person and you keep in contact with them. And those are the best types of connections to make from networking events. Now for my extroverts. Extroverts are those people who do not mind being outspoken. They do not mind meeting new people. They do not mind being in rooms involving networking. And for you all, once you get to a point where you feel like you can start infusing more networking events into your law school career after you've mastered your grades and you've mastered studying, I encourage you guys to challenge yourself to attend 2 to 4 monthly networking events, and to also try to make 2 to 4 meaningful connections at those events. In the same way that I just described what a meaningful connection would be for an introvert, it's going to be the same thing for my extroverts out there. But maybe for a lot of you guys, you'll meet a whole bunch more meaningful connections out there just by virtue of your personality. And that's totally great too. So take advantage of those networking events. Now, key tips for networking. Always make sure that you have a business card ready. Most law schools, especially the organizations affiliated with those law schools, will usually give you an opportunity to purchase business cards. I know they did at my law school, and you could get a pack of like 250 for like $50. Now, with supply chain and demand going crazy, those numbers may have increased a little bit since then, and they may be a little more costly now, but I promise you it's worth it. And it's great to have a tangible takeaway that someone can remember you by, to give to them. And I know that they even got even more fancy and technologically advanced business cards where there are QR codes on them, and people can just automatically scan your QR code off your card, and then your contact information and your profile pops up in their phone. That's all great and dandy, but really just a simple business card that says your name, what year you are in law school, if you have any official titles, and what law school you attend will do the trick. Also, make sure that you have your elevator speech ready. Now, what is an elevator speech? It is about 3 to 5 minutes in length, and it really just introduces who you are to that person. Your name, your year in law school, what your interests are, what you might want to practice, what you've been doing while you've been in law school, especially as you start to take on more of those leadership roles in the organizations that you're going to be invited to be a part of. You want all of that to be a part of your elevator speech. Where you went to college, where you went to undergrad, where you may have interned or externed. All of those things are valuable and should be a part of your elevator speech. And any interesting fun facts. If you have something that you think will help connect with people and that will be interesting and something to help them remember you by, drop it in your elevator speech, have it ready, and that's how you become memorable and set yourself apart at any networking event. Don't get caught slipping, and stay prepared so you don't have to get ready. Just stay ready. Then after you give your elevator speech, you want to end it with a question back to the person that you're speaking with at the networking event, right? So tell me more about you, or what's your name? What do you practice if you're talking to an attorney? If it's another law student, what law school do you go to? What are your interests? Who do you know? And that's how you help build your network, and that's how you help build your community. It's not just the lawyers that are already practicing, it's your fellow law students as well, and not just the ones that are in your law school, and not just the ones that are in your law school people that are further along in their law school career than you, but also the ones who are at other law schools, right? Because they're all a part of your network. You guys are all going to be graduating at some point together, and you're going to want them to know your name and vice versa. So that way, when opportunities arise that may fit your bill or whatever your elevator speech was that you gave them, they'll remember that and they'll keep you in mind for whatever may pop up. Now let's talk about attire. Most networking events will be business casual, but I've been to networking events that were black tie, that were completely formal, that were business casual, that were more cocktail. So make sure that you research the appropriate attire for that networking event prior to attending it, so that way you don't look out of place, right? And when in doubt, always dress more formally or more business minded, so that way people know that you've taken some consideration about how you look in your appearance, because you want to make a great first impression, right? And it really sets a positive tone for people when they see that you care about your appearance and how you show up into the world. And also, it's always better to be a little bit more business or formal than it is to be too lax and then risk making a negative first impression on anyone who may be at the networking event. Now remember, the purpose of a networking event is to just build your rapport and your legal community, right? Like we already said, you may not find that job just from that one networking event, but it may be a building stone towards something more. Hell, sometimes you may not even find anyone that you like or that you click with, or it may be difficult to make a meaningful connection, and that's okay. Give yourself grace, understand that you tried, and as long as you know that you put your best foot forward and you gave it 100% of your all, then that's all that matters. And it's okay to walk away from it knowing that every time you leave a networking event, it may not always meet the standards that, or the expectations you had in your mind of what that event was going to be or what was going to come of it. But remember, that's not the main purpose of networking event, and it's okay if the networking event doesn't meet your expectations. Networking events also help put you in front of some really important people, whether it be your peers, your colleagues, your professors, your administrators, other lawyers in the legal network. It puts your face, it puts your name, it puts your reputation out there for people to know and to learn. And the more you show up, the more people see you at these networking events, the more they run into you, they start to remember you, and they start to remember how passionate you are about X, Y, and Z, or that you are constantly showing up. Even though you have a million other things that you're juggling, you're still showing up and putting your best foot forward. And that makes quite the impression on people, and that starts to stick in their minds about you. And then again, it just puts you a step ahead of the game. It makes you more memorable. It gives you an advantage over your competition. And that's all that you want, because those are some of the important building blocks of networking. In other words, as the old adage goes, it's not always what you know, but who you know. And your network really is your net worth. If you don't have people in your network that motivate you, that inspire you, that hold you accountable, that aren't just yes men, that can help elevate you, that can help introduce you to new things, new ideas, new people, new opportunities, that can teach you something, that can help grow you or sharpen you, you're not in the right network. You don't have the right network, and you want to be able to have that for yourself and build that community so you can always tap into it. It's like a well, and sometimes you have to fill up your cup with who or what is in your network. Oftentimes you will be qualified, you will be competent, you will be capable, and you will have everything going for you on paper, right? And that's not going to be what sets you apart or makes you stand out. What's going to make you stand out is that if people know those things, if they know you're capable, if they know you're competent, if they know that you're qualified, how else are they going to know that or learn those things about you unless they know you, right? Unless you introduce yourselves to them, unless you go to those networking events. And that's often how you get your foot in the door. That's how you get those opportunities, right? That's how you get the interview. You're going to get yourself the job. Like I said, sometimes that can come from your network, right? But knowing people and having people in your network and having good people that can vouch for you and that you've built rapport with, that can speak to your character, that's what's going to help open doors. That's what's going to help get you in the rooms that you might not otherwise have been able to do on your own. And that's what's going to help put you at tables that you never thought that you would land. It certainly has helped for me. I have a true testimony about that. And it's a testament to who you are and your character. And that doesn't go unnoticed. It's no small feat either. And it's something that should be celebrated. It's something that you should want to put out there into the world. And that is the beauty of networking. Always remember with networking to have fun. Be yourself. Let your personality shine. Don't try to show up there to any networking event being anyone other than yourself or trying to be something that you're not. it's going to come off as disingenuous, and you don't want that. And also protect your peace and your energy. Try to have a good gift of discernment. Learn when people are for you and against you. I keep reiterating that throughout all of law school gyms because it is important, not just in law school, but in life. And you want the right group of people around you, right? The right network, the right community, people who have your best interests at heart, people who are going to be on your team and support you and cheer for you and thrive for you, regardless of their circumstances or their situation, etc. And so make sure that you are pouring into those people, and those are the people that you have on your team, and not the other way around. You don't constantly want to be pouring from an empty cup. So really make sure that you're choosing the right people and the right quality of people to be a part of your network. It's not always about quantity. You can have 2 or 3 connections, but if those are quality connections, that's going to matter a lot more than having 50 of non-quality connections right within your network. And that is also a major lesson that I had to learn about networking along the way. And I hope you pick it up a lot sooner than I did. A lot of law students also ask me, where do I find these networking events? So it starts with your listservs at your law school, right? A lot of you will already be subscribed to some listservs like your Student Government Association, some other organizations you may have signed up for, etc. And they'll start sending out newsletters, weekly newsletters of events that they have planned, of events that are going on that they know about, and they'll start inviting you to them. Also look for events that come your way from your administrators or from your professors, from people who you work with as you go out into the world next summer and beyond and start interning. People will start to invite you to networking events from your job, etc. And within your community, like look around. I know when I was in law school, I was a Chicago Scholars mentor. Chicago Scholars is an amazing foundation that helps first generation students enter college. And it really helps them from the beginning to the end of the application process for college, and then seeing them through their college career. And I met so many people through networking with people at Chicago Scholars and being a mentor. And that was in no way affiliated with my law school, right? But it was still an opportunity for me to give back and be of service to my community and meet people along the way, one of whom became one of my lifelong best friends. So it's always great to just put yourself out there and look for those community networking events as well. And then finally, word of mouth. So if you have mentors, your peers, your colleagues, other law students, professors, your administrators, some of the lawyers you may work with, some people who may have been talking about a networking event at another networking event, they'll share and they'll drop that information about other events that they know that are happening. See if you can get yourself on the invite list and see if you can make an impression at the next networking event. Well, y'all, that's all I have today for tips on networking. If I forgot anything, please feel free to drop it in the comments. If you have any other networking tips, if you have any questions, always feel free to ask because I'm going to respond to them. So be sure to like and share this video, particularly with someone who is in their first semester of law school, someone who may be considering law school, or who may be further along and just need some additional gems, right? And also be sure to subscribe to this channel so you get reminders so you don't miss out on your gems. And as always, thank you for watching to the very end. It really helps me grow and expand this channel so I can reach larger audiences like you. And until next time, take care. Bye, y'all.